Halloween down here in Querétaro, Mexico. Hola! Just show you guys the afternoon. You know, there's this time in little towns in Mexico where I call it like the magic hours. The main shifts of work are getting off. People are cooking. They're starting to sell things on the side of the road. Hey, everybody, I see you guys in there, and it's really cool. So let's just cruise a little. You know, I saw down around the corner here, I was running some errands. I went to the vegetable store, the fruiteria, to get some stuff to help Sandra make soup. And I saw a lady heating up a little grill outside of her house, all right? I saw this lady cooking some elotes, which are very popular in Mexico. And elotes are typically, it's very common. You'll see them on the sides of highways, people's doors, in the square. You know how sometimes you just get a craving? Like, there are certain foods that when I first came to Mexico, I didn't necessarily like that well. I was just like, eh. And then as time went on, I'm developing more of a craving for these like traditional Mexican foods that are on the street, and I'm not bothered by a little spiciness. You know, just good stuff, right? Just good stuff. So let's go down here. I'm just kind of doing the whole one-handed thing here. Audio's good, thank you guys. Later on in the evening, there'll be kids playing ball here. You know, there's what's one of the cool things. Let me just stop for a second. One of the things is there's so much community here. We're used to a lot of veneer in the U.S., and this is something I talk about a lot. The U.S. kind of convinces us that our fascism and our slavery is good because, look, it's nicer here, right? We have more stuff. Our parks are prettier. And things are older here, right? There's buildings in Mexico that are older than the United States of America, and they're still being used. That's not even that uncommon, right? But here, it's simpler, right? But it doesn't mean people are having less fun. And yes, it is Mother's Day in Mexico. Feliz Dias de las Madres. I'm making sure that's not a troll, that's actually an insult, but Happy Day of the Mothers. Okay. Just making sure you're not messing with me, man. Because if there's one thing you don't want to do in Mexico, it's insult people's mothers. People are very neighborly and they're pretty patient, but you start insulting people's mothers in Mexico. And so, like, I'm actually scared to say things about mothers, right? Because I'm afraid I'll say it wrong. Like, my Spanish is not very good. And I'm afraid I'll, like, accidentally insult someone's mother because mothers are very important here. So, let's see, where did I go? I think I went up this street. Man, I swear I saw a lady cooking corn. I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's see, there's this way. This is a dead end, though. This is not taking me where I want to go. So the corn is not up this way. This is not the corn. No elotes. Okay, follow the music. Elotes. Necesito elotes. Me gusto elotes. Hoy. Elotes con carbon. Muy bien. Muy rico. Man, I'm lost. Oh, wait, no, I see it. I see the lady. This is what I was looking for. There's a little park up here. See if they're ready or not yet. ¿Elotes?
Sí.
Uno, por favor.
Sí. Ahorita se lo pongo.
Poquito picante.
Buenas tardes. Disculpe, aquí está un salón de eventos. Está cerrado, ahorita no está cerrado. Es el del salón. Sí, la tienda también. Sí. Pero es este salón entonces. Sí, ahorita no está. Bueno. Gracias. Sí. Ahorita le doy esto.
Bien. Okay. Oh, gracias. All right, she's getting me fixed up. So this is what I saw earlier, right? I came by, and there's just a little fire going out here on this little thing right outside the doorstep. This is a little miscellanea. So miscellanea is just usually out of their house where they just sell, you know, brooms and cleaning supplies and whatever, right? They just sell whatever. And these are elotes, and Seim wants one. I don't know how much I can carry, and they're not going to be fresh for very long. Elotes are best fresh. I actually went down So I went down to the square last night and I was feeling elotes. Elotes come in two varieties, guys. So you can get an elotes that's just corn on the cob, basically, and then they put spices and seasonings and stuff on it. And another common way is they strip it off the cob and they put it in a cup for you. And it's easier to eat that way, and it kind of, the sauces kind of build up in there, and it's very good in the vaso. Is kind of my preferred way because it's so easy to eat that way. But either way, it's good stuff. At first, it took me a little getting used to because they put lime and they put mayonnaise and they put things like that in there, and it's really good. But at first, I was like, oh, this is kind of different. It's kind of weird, and it took some getting used to. Over here is a procession going on. It's like this is a not an actual funeral, but a religious procession. Just normal stuff you'll see in the afternoon in Mexico. Yeah, we're getting it. Yeah, it's everything is, is very laid back, and yeah, I mean, the God consciousness is way higher in Mexico. Across in the public square, no one would complain about that. That'd be ridiculous. And so you'll see, it's a very Catholic culture, but it's not limited to that. So I'm not into organized religion. I follow Jesus, not an organized religion like denomination. Whether it be Mormon or Baptist or Catholic or whatever, I think our main emphasis should be following Christ, getting in His Word. And but yeah, you don't see, it's a very normal thing to have reverence for God here. In fact, it would be abnormal not to. That's not to say there's not atheists here, but it's good. So anyways, for those of you just tuning in, we're just cruising a town in real Mexico, just kind of showing you what it's like around here in the magic hours of Mexico in the evening when things are just laid back and people are getting off work and selling food out of the back of their houses, and it's just really cool. And I'm getting some elotes right now, which is corn on the cob with spices, or corn in a cup with spices. But I drove by here a little earlier, and there was just this fire raring up, and I saw her putting corn out, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's where I'm going. ¿Está bien?
Sí.
¿Cuánto?
14.
14?
¿Ya tiene uno? Sí. Buenas tardes.
Gracias.
Sí. Buenas tardes.
There we go, elotes. Just a little bit of spice on this one. Buenas tardes, feliz días. Yeah, so that's a good looking corn cooked right over the carbon. Very nice. So it's good. Oh, está bien. It's okay. Gracias. Feliz tardes, madre. Let's talk about a little Mexican cultural food. I don't usually eat on camera, but you guys can take a look here. And so you can see the searing. That's what you want to see, is a little bit of searing right there on the cob. This is mild spice. Some people get this very spicy. I like it in a cup, because in a cup, they tend to put lime on it, a little bit of mayonnaise, so it's kind of like corn with sauce at that point. So both varieties are good. And I don't know about everywhere in Mexico, but pretty much everywhere I've seen, this is a classic natural snack. You'll be going down the interstate and there'll be people selling this just on the side of the interstate, and you can stop and grab some. And so it's just very cool. You can get junk food. I'm craving elotes lately, and I'm not even pregnant. I'm just into elotes lately. When I first had elotes, I was like, oh, it tastes like sour corn, right? I had it in a cup with the lime, and it almost tasted a little fermented or something, right? And then it kind of grew on me. And I see these ladies, and they're always selling elotes around the towns, and it's very good. But yeah, they season it. Elotes is almost always seasoned. That's how they do their corn. And you'll see little carts, that's all they sell. They're just little elote stands. There goes the bus. I'll let the bus pass. and then we'll drive around town a little bit more. Perfect time of day. It's just very tranquil, people doing their thing, but the light's getting good too. I'm actually not in the downtown central area. This is like Old Town, right? We're just cruising regular Old Town here. Okay, so let's go. People are like, who's the loco gringo speaking English, you know? But hey, we do what we can. We do what we have to do to show the world that the propaganda of the USA is a flaming hypocritical lie. Now you'll see here different kinds of streets. Let me show you this. Notice here, I just saw a new street in town that was a brand new street made of cobblestone and cement. This is the more ritzy street here. Of course, the highways are still asphalt. They're using asphalt for the highways. But this is the old school street. Gosh, how many hundreds of years ago was this thing built? This really is just cobblestone. This isn't a cobblestone street like in the tourist sense in some touristy town in the USA. This is a cobblestone actually made of rocks embedded in dirt. And when they go to repair that, they come in and they dig it up and they bring a pile of rocks and they fix it. And it's pretty cool. I have not figured out why the bases of some trees are painted white, but it's very common. I think it must have to do with some kind of insects or something like that. But somebody inferred to me that it had to do with bugs, maybe ants or something. So yeah, yeah. The rodeo in Elotes is $6. Here it's 60 cents. So yeah, there's that. You know, but then again, having your teeth cleaned at the dentist, the nice dentist, is also $20 here. So it's a different world than the USSA down here in Mexico. If you were to describe Mexico, I'm going to say, you know, you bring modern technology, but put it back in 1971 and then combine it with a culture that's a little warmer and more friendly, and you have Mexico. Sort of. It's more complicated than that. We're getting into a real asphalt road now. Things are getting serious. The burger joint's a hopping. That's good. And that's a good burger right there. But I better not eat a burger because, yeah, we did start soup. Just posted a photo. Went down to the corner store and got a bunch of fresh veggies and helped Sandra cut them up, and she's making some soup. Buenas tardes. Hola. Those are the guys that made me, did some woodworking for me here in town. They demonize Mexico because they have less veneer, right? You see things and there's more old and worn out things and are well used. Everything's made of stone, right? So it lasts hundreds of years. And sometimes it hasn't been restored that often. You know, of course, the newer buildings, they have stucco and stuff like that. But some of these get down to the old brick and they're just simple and basic. And people say, oh, well, you know, Mexico's depressed. It's terrible there. And in reality, most places are doing pretty decent. Everything's not based on codes and restrictions and all that kind of stuff. It's just very, very human. And I think that's what we've missed. What we've really forgotten in the USA is what it's like to be a human being. We operate in such a fascist, controlled society that we've been conditioned to think that that's normal, to be, you know, shot, imprisoned, beaten, abused by our police, to be extorted at every possible turn. Buenos Aires, by our government, you know. You've got cities like where I'm from in Grant County, and Buenos Aires, you can't even, it's illegal, right? You can be fined $400 for parking on your lawn. You tried to tell them that down here? You tried to get the police pass a law here that says you can't park on your own front yard, and people would scoff at it. It would just be an absolute joke. And if the cops tried to enforce it, they'd probably get punched in the nose because they don't have the police worship thing here. And that's a big deal. So people, it's not that they're, you know, particularly aggressive against their cops. They just look at police suspiciously and like they're often corrupt and they don't necessarily do what they say. And that's how a society should look at government. That's how it should look at enforcers. So anyways, I'm glad we went out before it got dark. Again, it's just that magic time of day. I'm trying to figure out where I'm at. Get out of the base of those hills and there's lots of farms and little villages and dairies and all kinds of good stuff. Okay, I'm just taking it slow. I'm going down a hill, so I don't want to crash and break myself. That would be kind of stupid on video, right? Okay, let's go this way. Vamos, vamos, vamos. Ahora. Yeah. What's it say? See, here's another thing you'll see a lot in Mexico, guys. If there's an empty wall, people use it as a billboard, okay? Now, I don't know if they buy it or in some cases, if it's just kind of considered fair game. You'll see this a lot along the interstates. And people will just paint an ad on the side of a building or the side of a fence or something like that on a main road. And that's totally normal. And I can tell you what, they're not getting a permit for it. Do you have a sign permit for that sign? Does it meet the code? Is it within 14.72 centimeters of the left scuration of the highway? Otherwise, that's a felony. Here, you guys want to go into an ice cream shop? I'll take you into the ice cream shop, okay? Oh, little mini ice cream bars for 2 pesos, which is 10 cents. How about that? 6 for 10. Wow. That's like 8 cents a piece. Is mini?
Sí.
¿Cuánto?
5.
5. Okay. Y
6 por 10 o 1, 2.
6 por Dios. Sí, 6 por mis niños. Por favor. So these are all fresh made. See the strawberries sticking out the back?
Es pistache.
Oh, pistacho? Okay. Bien. ¿Y limón?
Sí.
Sí. ¿Kiwi?
Kiwi.
¿Kiwi?
Sí.
Un kiwi para mí, por favor.
Sí. ¿Cuántas promociones?
6.
6 paletas. 6 por 10.
6 por 10, yes. Sí. ¿Es fresa con chocolate?
Sí.
Uno por mi esposo, por favor. Okay. Some money here.
¿De nuez, fresa o fresas con crema?
Aquí es bien. ¿Es fresa o fresa con crema?
No, es fresa.
Ok, bien.
¿De qué me dijo?
Y so,
¿Kiwi?
6 kiwi por mí. Sí. Here's the ice cream, guys. Looks good, huh? Exactly. Okay. Muchas gracias.
Hasta luego.
Buenas tardes. Sí, sí. De nada. Okay, I got them. Here, right there. Ice cream. That was $2.50 to get everybody ice cream. How about that? Look at these cute little kids ones. Check this out. These are awesome. Look at these. They're like little tiny, and these are like homemade, guys. These are not out of a these are not out of a Haagen-Dazs box. So you can get those here too. But I much prefer the natural fruits and flavors and all that good stuff. I'm gonna put this in the back so that I don't drop it. There's like 9 people in a taxi right there. Very efficient. But I beat that because me and my friends in Colombia put 12 people in a Kia Sedona. So, you know what? Hola! Yeah. When you first come here, you're like, oh, these people drive crazy. And then you start to realize that in a lot of ways they drive more safe and polite because no one wants to die, right? So it's a little bit maverick, but at the same time, people are paying attention. So anyways, just evening in Central Mexico, Querétaro State, right up here near San Juan del Rio. You can see people getting lots of flowers because it's Mother's Day and lots of colors. Look at all the colors everywhere. We're gonna do a portrait session soon down here, and you can just go to town with portraits for a new project I'm working on because, man, there's so much color. There's so many cool buildings. You know, these old classic buildings for doing portraits in. Basically eternal spring here, guys. Whether it's winter or summer, it's a little warmer some days and a little cooler the others. If you go down towards the coast, it sure gets a lot more humid if you're into that sort of thing. But we're probably at 5,000 or 6,000 feet here, sort of up in the mountains, I guess you could say, and it's just good. So this is evening. This is what I call the magic time in the towns in Mexico, and you'll see this even in big towns. People are down in the square, people are mulling around, people are sitting on their front porch chatting or playing simple games, people are selling snacks or making corn on the cob outside their house. These are things that you can not see much in the USA because we've become a culture of fascism. We've become a culture of obedience. We've become a culture of of you can't do that instead of a culture of yes, instead of a culture of neighbors and community. We've become a culture of everything has to be organized and sanctioned and permitted, and that's not freedom. That's not humanity. That's not justice. That's not America. But down here, they act way more like America down here, and this is the larger side of America that I am on after all. Mexico is far more American than the USA is now. That's the reality. That's what you'll see roaming around the streets of Mexico. It's nothing like the propaganda, because all that was made up to make you think that the slavery of fascism is freedom. But it's not. Keep resisting, keep speaking out, know when to get out, and we'll see you guys soon.